Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. This is match 3 for Wauki, Slivers, Dina, and Mill. I've already rolled the dice. Mill is going to go first, so let's get started and see what happens. Going to play a snow-covered island for turn, and no 1-drops, so we'll pass. Forest for turn over here, and pass. We're going to play a Path of Ancestry. Comes in tapped and taps for one of any color in your mana one of any mana in your commander's identity. And if you cast a spell that shares a creature type with it, you scry one. Pass. Luxury Suite comes in tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. I do, so it untaps, although it's not actually relevant. So we'll pass. Turn 2, untap, upkeep, draw. Play a snow-covered island. Going to tap 2 of those for Grind Clock. You tap it to put a charge counter on Grind Clock. Then you can tap it and target player puts the top X cards of the library into the graveyard where X is the number of counters on it. So we'll go ahead and tap it to put 1 charge counter on it. Let's see how high we can get it before someone blows up the artifact. Although my decks don't really have... I've been putting enchantment and artifact destruction spells into my decks, but they don't really come up that often. So we'll see what happens. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Play a swamp for turn. And tap it to get Dina, Soul Steeper. A 1/3. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses that much life. And another ability, but it never comes into play because I don't really use it. But at least we have a creature on the field, so we will pass. I'm hoping things are okay with the camera. I noticed it was doing some weird focusing problems whenever I would reach towards the middle of the screen or like the life total or something. So I really hope that's not going to become a new thing. But we will see. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. Going to play Vault of Champions. Comes in tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. I do. Here's a great spell. White, and tapping this to play red for Cloud Shredder Sliver. A 1/1 that gives all slivers eye control, haste, and flying. That does, of course, share a type with my commander, so I will scry. I'll leave it there just because it's a low drop sliver. It does have haste, actually, and flying, so we would leave ourselves open to Dina, but she's only a 1 damage commander. Not super important. But we're going to go ahead and hit Mill for 1 damage in the air, just to get the ball rolling. And then we'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. That was an excellent top deck. We're going to play a mountain and then tap both for Electrostatic Field. It's a Defender, 0/4. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it will deal 1 damage to each opponent. That's an excellent card in this deck. I love it. Paired with Wauki, it starts to do some really good damage, especially if you get a couple others out or any kind of damage doublers. I will go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Going to play a snow-covered island. And now, it would obviously make sense to cast Bruvak, but I think this is more important right now. I'm going to cast Propaganda. Each turn, each creature cannot attack you unless its controller pays an additional 2 for that creature. Then I'm going to tap to put a counter on Grind Clock. Really start getting that ramped up. I mean, I wouldn't call 2 ramped up, but you get the idea. But now everyone has to pay 2 mana to attack me per creature, so that's going to hold off little Mr. Flying Slivers over there and Dina and everything else. So we will pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Play another swamp, and then tapping 2. Play Rampant Growth. Search library for basic land card, put on the battlefield, tapped. Then Souffle. So we're going to go ahead and put a forest onto the battlefield and then do the Souffle. No 1-drops, but Dina can attack. However, she can't really attack anybody with slivers, and it'd be kind of stupid to start getting on Sliver's bad side this early, so we're just going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn, Rockfall Veil. Enters tap unless you control 2 or more other lands. I do, so that's 3 mana to use. All right, this works out really well. We're going to tap for green and 1 other to play Gemhide Sliver. All slivers can tap for 1 mana of any color. And then we're going to tap this for red to play Striking Sliver. Slivers I control have first strike. It shares a type with Sliver Lord, and I used Path to look at it. I'm actually going to put that on the bottom. It might come back to bite me. It's basically a sliver that gives haste, and that would be redundant at this point. And I'd rather get a sliver that, either more land or a sliver that deals some sort of damage or buff or something like that. Now they all are flying and have haste. I cannot go after Mill at this point though, and that's a bad thing because Mill is going to be, difficult to deal with. So we will send these ones in the air. I guess no, we're going to leave one just to keep people from setting. So 1 of each. That's all it is. Boom and boom. Nothing crazy. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play a swamp for turn. And unfortunately, that's all I can do. There's no point in casting any spells yet that are instant sorcery, so we're going to pass. That is one of the downfalls of Wauki. If it doesn't get some good mana rocks in the opening hand to really help ramp him out by like turn 4, 3, if you're really lucky, it takes some time for him to get going. We're going to play Snow-Covered Island, and I suppose now would be oops, that's untapped. Now would be the time to go ahead and pull out Brewback. 1/4. If an opponent would mill, they mill twice that much. I could try starting with the grind clock, but I'm actually going to tap it to go 1 more higher at least, and worry about using. I'd like to get that up much higher and use it to really hit hard. I don't have any 1-drops over here, so we will go ahead and pass. But getting that propaganda out fast like that is going to be a real hard to deal with and really help for Brewback. Untap, upkeep, draw over here, play another forest, and we will go ahead and tap 5 for Alamar's Archive. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much. If you would draw a card except your first one, you draw 2 cards instead. Really great card, especially in a life gain deck. Unfortunately, I'm not gaining any life just yet, but that's all right. Hopefully, we're setting up for it. Going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I could use some more land, but this is really good. So black, white, and 1 other to play Vindicate. Destroy target permanent. We're saying goodbye to propaganda. That's for dang sure. Definitely doesn't have any kind of answers in that hand. So now we're going to swing the board at you in the air. 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Nothing crazy. That's not really going to do much, but it's going to speed things up, hopefully. And now everyone can continue to swing if they want, and that's going to help. So there we go. Some interactions from Slivers. Nice job, and we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Go ahead and play another swamp for turn. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 for another really good card for this deck, Storm-Kiln Artist. It's a 2/2 creature. He gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. It would be nice if I had some mana rocks, but that's not really important. His Magecraft ability is what's important. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token. That really gets going. You can start playing a bunch of spells and then continue it because now you've got, you know, the treasure creation. You can keep playing a couple spells farther than you would in 1 turn. Still nothing else I can do though, but that's a good setup. Whether it's going to stay like that is a different story, but that's a good setup for him so far. Pass turn. All right, Bruvek is now vulnerable again. That's not good for him. Untapping, upkeep, and draw. We're going to play a snow-covered island. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 for Sphinx's Tutelage. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard. If they're both non-land cards that share a color, repeat the process. This is a really great card, especially against monocolor decks, but there are cards in the deck that can help do more with that. Now, first of all, the real key is that they work together. So this says you mill the top 2 cards, but of course, Bruvac means you're going to mill the top 4 cards. And so as long as you have 2 cards in that 4 that match a color, and of course remember that lands don't have color, so islands won't count. But and this is a monocolor, well, it's not. What am I saying? We're not going to mill, but they are. So, but lands don't count. As long as you mill 2 cards out of the 4 that share a color, you do it again, and then you do it again. And you keep doing that until you don't hit. Finally, I will tap the last 2 mana to play Merit Log's Slumber. Whenever it or another snow permanent enters the battlefield, you can scry 1. Let me see. I think we're going to move that land to the bottom. We really don't need it right now. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more snow permanents, sacrifice it, and then create the legendary 2020 creature with flying and indestructible. That's all we can do right now. So we're going to one more time. We're gonna tick it up. Now that could be a downfall. Maybe we should use it, but I'm gonna tick it up one more time and then pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Going to play Temple of the False Gods, which is online. I don't know. Part of me feels like it's cheap because, but we've gotten close before and haven't been able to pull it off. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Exquisite Blood. Fortunately, you may be able to see that this sleeve got ripped. I'm not happy about that, so I'll have to try and figure out if I have any more to fix it. Or maybe just put some tape on it. And I know it's like that won't work for, tournaments, but none of my friends are going to care if it's got a little tape on it. But then again, I would know what it was, so I'll have to see if I have any more extra sleeves, and I don't think I do. But anyway, Exquisite Blood. Sorry. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So there's your combo right there. This should be over here. And with Alamarit's Archive, that's going to get really stupid in terms of life gain. But now, all I have to do is gain 1 life. Or no, sorry. Yeah. I just have to gain 1 life, and the loop starts, and she can win. I have 2 open mana technically, but no 2-drops, and do I have anything that actually gains me life? I don't, currently. There's nothing in my hand that can actively gain me life. So they have a chance to stop her, but we're going to pass. Untap. Upkeep. Draw for turn. Okay, well, there we go. That is perfect. I still don't have any more lands, which is really hurting this deck. I'm going to have to count and make sure I have, at least 35 or 36. But anyway, we're tapping for green, white, and 1 other to cast. Well, wait a second. How does this work? It doesn't say you have to say it. So blue. Why not? Right? To cast Harmonic Sliver. All slivers have, when this permanent enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Guess what? Chunk. Boom. So there we go. Now, every time I play a sliver, it can blow something up, which is amazing. And I have another sliver on the battlefield with haste, although it's still just a 1/1. Now that that's gone, we can continue focusing on Mr. Mill over there. Again, it's only 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So while Slivers is doing cool stuff, it's not doing anything scary. At least not yet. But I believe that's actually, yeah, that is now, Slivers have dealt with all the problems right now. That's impressive. We're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Going to play Sulphurous Springs. Taps for colorless, or it can tap for a black or a red, but when you do, it damages you by 1. All right, tapping all 5 for Wauki the Younger. 3/3, reach lifelink. If another source you control would deal damage, non-combat damage, to a target creature or player or to whatever, it deals that much +1. And then if you cast an instant or sorcery, Wauki himself deals 2 damage to target player or creature, and well, to any target, whatever. I mean, that obviously not whatever that is important, but you guys get the idea. and he gains you 2 life. That is still all it can do, but that's a good setup. We're going to pass. Untap. Upkeep. We're going to draw a card. So whenever I draw a card, target opponent puts the top 2, now 4 cards of their library into the graveyard. If 2 of them share a color, you repeat the process. Now the question is, however, where do you send that? Obviously, I should be hurting Slivers with the mill. However, Slivers is a 5-color deck. The likelihood that there's going to match even in 4 cards is a lot lower than these 2 guys, because it's red, black, green, black. But I guess the simple process is just simply, you're hurting me, I should try and hurt you. Well, yeah, so we're doing it on the triggers. Whenever you draw a card, so we're going to go over there and do that. So we've got a land, that doesn't count. Another land, that doesn't count. Another land, so it's going to be a whiff. And Swords to Plowshares, which is sad, but is it exile or is it mill? Should be mill, but, well, I mean, it has to. Yeah, it has to be, because that's otherwise, Brewback wouldn't double it. So yes, there we go. It's a whiff, though, so that's good for Slivers. Now we're going to play a snow-covered island for turn. Every time we play a snow permanent, we can scry one. It's another island. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 in our hand, and that's 9. I guess we will leave that snow-covered island there because if we get 10 snow permanents, we can flip, or I don't think the slumber flips. I think you have to get a token, which I do not have. I have infinity tokens that I've had for quite some time and just stupidly not used whenever playing, and then I go, oh, I don't know this. I just like actually having the real tokens, which is why I keep forgetting to use those. But for these, for channel purposes, I definitely want to start using them. Okay, so that's everything there. But now we will, in fact, tap to make Slivers mill 4, which is going to be doubled to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it wasn't a lot of great stuff. There was a lot of lands, but there were a couple good removal spells in there. So that's going to be possibly bad in the long run. All right, but that's all we can do. We're going to go ahead. Well, no, I guess we can, right, huh? So sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, read your cards, kids. Sphinx's Tutelage does have a ability, pay 5 mana, draw a card, then discard a card. So I will draw the island we knew about. I do kind of want the snow-covered things, but I guess we'll discard an island. But anyway, we drew a card, so now Slivers is going to do that thing again. A land. Chromatic Lantern, that's colorless. Semester's End, that's white. And Gale Rider Sliver, that's blue. So it's a... As I said, it's really hard to do that on a 5-color deck, but it's still milling them 4 cards. So it's something. We're going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Tap black and 2 others to play Marauding Blight Priest. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. I will then play Golgari Rot Farm, bouncing the swamp back to my hand. I will tap black and a green to play Skull Prophet. Tap it for a green or a black, or you can tap it and put the top 2 cards of your library in your graveyard. Certainly not going to do that with Mill going on, but it's obviously the mana dork aspects is what I care about. Oops, you can't even see it. All right, still have not actually gained life in my Dina life gain deck, so that's not cool, but it's all we can really do right now. I didn't draw any extra cards. Nobody else has any kind of effects when doing stuff, so we're going to go ahead and pass. Okay, now we have to remember that every time we play a sliver, we can blow something up. So draw a card for turn. All right, well, oh wait, my sliver's tap for mana. Woohoo, I totally forgot. Okay, so in that sense, we're going to go ahead and tap 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to play Sliver Hive Lord. 5 colors, it's 5/5. Slivers you control are indestructible. I played a sliver, so that means I blow up target artifact or enchantment. We're going to go and get rid of Sphinx's Tutelage, because obviously. Then I think the next thing on the chopping block will be the archives, just because everything else over there is creatures. And that leaves us with 2 mana, so we can in fact do this. Tapping for a white and tapping for a blue. Crystalline Sliver. Slivers cannot be the target of spells or abilities. Now that's it just says target of spells or abilities. I believe that means it's hexproof. I get hexproof and Shroud confused all the time. But the point is, it just means I can't target them with spells myself. It's like no spells can target the Slivers now. But as I said, we're going to go ahead and blow up Alamart's archive. They do have haste and flying, so we are definitely going to send them swinging. 5, well, yeah, I don't like what's going on over here. I think we're going to send Crystal at you, 1, 2, and then Sliver Hive Lord at you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you now have 5 commander damage. Well, we've talked about like spreading the love, as it were. Is not the best idea, especially when you want to try and get these episodes moving. But I just feel that we need to start be concerned with him, because that's a really good setup. As soon as he starts playing some, especially if he's got any kind of things with draws, it's just going to hold be a thing. All right, but that's all we can do. There's no after effects. We blew up both of those. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Okay, we're going to play Command Tower. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're just going to keep. Wait a second, sorry. I don't want to damage myself. So these are going to be 3 red, and then 2 other. To play Gratuitous Violence. If a creature you control would deal damage to a creature or player, it deals double that damage instead. Now, we have to be cognizant that that's very specific. I keep thinking it's just a doubling spell. It's only if a creature does it. So, and who knows, I may have played that wrong in a past episode way back when. We'll see. But I have one open mana, but unfortunately it's not the right color. And we know as soon as he plays a Sliver, they're going to blow that up. So that may have actually been a waste of mana. But you know what? I'm going to let it go, because it gives him a target that's real obvious ahead of these. Now everyone's going to want to blow up this before they worry about that. Theoretically. We're going to pass. Okay, untap, upkeep, draw for turn, play a snow-covered island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 snow-covered permanents. Going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4 for Solum Simulacrum. It's a 2/2 that says when it enters the battlefield, search your library for basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tapped. So there's a snow-covered island. And then shuffle library. All right, I have 3 mana left. Not enough to do anything, but that sets me up really well for the future. And it gets an extra snow-covered island on there to maybe get the token going. We're going to go ahead and tap this to make Slivers mill 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's all we can do. We're going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. All right, that's a good draw. We're going to play a swamp. And then I'm going to tap these 3 to play Christine Talisman. You tap it to add a colorless, and you gain a life. So now, that would have been nicer much earlier, when I could have used it and won instantly. But that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. And you know what? We really need to play hard, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Dark Petition. Search your library for a card and put that card into your hand, then shuffle. Shuffle. If there are 2 or more instants and or sorceries in your graveyard, add 3 mana to your mana pool. Unfortunately not. That would have been great if I'd gotten milled a little more, but I wouldn't have gotten this probably. So we're going to go look for a specific card. Okay, we don't have to reveal the card, but I'm going to show you. It's Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. I was honestly looking and thinking there was a card that did the same thing as Exquisite Blood, but I think Exquisite Blood might be the only one that does it. I have a bunch of cards that do the same thing as her, and which is of course the same thing as Sanguine Bond. So we have like four or so cards that can do that side of it, but I think this is the only one that can do the other side. So unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to make the infinite loop combo now that that's in the graveyard. And there's no graveyard recursion in this deck, I don't believe. But whatever. I'm going to go ahead and tap this to gain a life. Because I gained a life, everyone's going to lose a life. And whenever I gain life, each opponent loses one life. So there you go. Still good. I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. Draw for turn. All right, we kind of have to do this. We're going to tap 1, 2, 3, including green for cultivate. I need some freaking lands. Unfortunately, they have to be basics. But at this point, I'll take anything. We got ourselves an island and a mountain to the island on the battlefield, mountain to my hand, shuffle, and then we will play the mountain for turn since we haven't played one yet. And gosh golly, I did in fact do that in the wrong order because I have a ponder in my hand. I should have slipped those, but you know what? I did it, so it's done. All right. Who should we go with swinging? Well, obviously, Sliver Hive Lord is going at you. No questions there. And everyone else should be going. I think we're going to send everyone else at you. Still not a lot of damage. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then another 10 on the commander damage. Again, I do apologize if the camera's doing wonky focusing things. I hope it's not, but I think it probably is. I can't like play and do the things and look at the computer at the same time. I know, right? Get good. What the heck? Why can't you do everything at once? But all right, so that was another solid hit. I mean, it was still a decent amount of damage. We're gonna pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Okay, so we're going to tap 2 black and 1 colorless to play Soul Transfer. Choose one. You control an artifact and an enchantment. You can choose both. I don't, so I'm choosing one. Exile target creature or return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. I am exiling Sliver Hive Lord. Well, all right, let's do things in turn. Cast trigger. Electrostatic Field, which is a creature, is going to deal 1 damage, which is buffed by Wauki to 2, to each opponent, which that means it's doubled to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I played an instant or sorcery, so I'm going to get Treasure. And then Torwaki is going to deal 2 damage to you, 1, 2, and I gain 2 life, 1, 2. Then Soul Transfer resolves. We exile Sliver Hive Lord. It now costs 2 more to cast. Oh, wait, no. Shoot. Ah, Slivers cannot be the targets of spells or abilities. So, should I even bother playing it then? I don't really have too much else in my hand that's going to be all that impressive. And we did all the math, and I don't want to friggin' try and back all that up. So I think we'll just go ahead and exile Brewback. It's kind of a crappy move, you know. They didn't do anything. Well, they haven't even milled us. So, but like I said, I don't feel like trying to reverse engineer all that damage and crap. So it all still resolves, and then that gets exiled. Then I'm going to tap. Oh wait, sorry. Creature damage. He's a creature. He deals damage. So that's actually another 2 to you, and I gain another 2 because it's lifelink. So that's cool because it got doubled because it's creature damage. All right. Now I'm tapping 3 to play Ingenious Inspiration. Deals 3 damage to any target. You may reveal, it has learn, you may reveal a lesson card from outside the game and put it in your hand, or discard a card and draw a card. So first things first, cast trigger. It's going to deal 2, 3, 4 to everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to make another treasure. Then Wauki is going to deal 2 double to 4 damage to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I gain 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's going to deal 3 buffed to 4 double to 8 damage to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I can discard a card to draw a card. Yeah, I think I'm going to discard Blood Crypt to draw a card. Okay, that was something at least. And I do technically have 2 mana because of the treasures. Yeah, you know what? What the heck? We're going to sacrifice both treasures to make 2 red mana to then play Grape Shot. Grape Shot deals 1 damage to any target, but it has Storm. So when you cast it, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. And whenever you cast or copy a spell, create a token. So that's actually going to make 3 tokens, 3 treasure tokens, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that should work like that. Because I'm copying it 2 more times and casting them. So first, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Wauki is going to deal 2 double to 4 to you. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we'll do it there. 1, 2, 3, 4. We make the treasures because it's then going to do it again. So then Grape Shot deals 1 damage to any target. So Grape Shot is going to deal 1 damage to you, which is up to 2, double to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, I believe the copies go on the stack first. So, right, so these things only happen once when I cast Grape Shot. The 2 copies go on the stack. The first copy resolves, that's 4 damage to you. The next copy resolves, that's another 4 damage. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess technically I should have probably did the math a bit better and got that out there, but whatever. And then the real copy will resolve, dealing another 4 to somebody. So we'll just say 1, 2, 3, 4. The threat has been nullified. So I'm going to be honest with you. I know this is going to be like a bunch of wins for Wauki. So I'm super happy because that means Wauki is a little getting better and a little bit more consistent. Although this is still, quite not a long episode, but it's could have ended it in like 20 minutes if, Dina had gotten her combo off type thing. So point being, I do want you to see how the other decks work, but I mean, so far no one's done bad. Slivers, that's a pretty good showing from Slivers, actually. It's just they didn't get any buffs so that the damage could have been faster. Dina's been coming along pretty well. It's just she kept getting blown up because of Slivers, all the stuff that she needed. And same with Mill. If Slivers hadn't gotten that one that allows you to blow up anything when you play a Sliver, either one of those two probably would have won already or got close. Uh, but anyway, that's all we can do there. Well, no, I guess it's not all we can do because we still have 3 treasures. I'm going to use 1 treasure, down 2, to cast Warlord's Fury. Creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn, and you draw a card. Cast trigger, he's going to deal the 4 damage to everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I go back up to 3 treasures. Guess I shouldn't have bothered doing all that because I cast sorcery. Then another 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's going to give them all first strike, and I draw a card. Yeah, that's pretty good. We're going to sacrifice all of them to then cast Gutter Snipe. So this game's pretty much over on the next turn unless someone board wipes or something. This is no longer valid because he's gone. I I don't think I did anything wrong. I think we're okay. So we're going to pass, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to recast Bruvac. And that leaves me with 3, which is not enough to do the thing I want to do. So we will tap 1 for Elixir of Immortality. But I will tap 2, sacrifice Elixir of Immortality. Um, gain 5 life, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Elixir of Immortality and your graveyard get shuffled into your library. Not really a big deal, especially at this point in the game, but it's something to do. Then we're going to go ahead and tap to make you mill 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And unfortunately, there's no point in attacking, so we will pass. Dina's got to come up with something crazy good real fast, and that's just a land. So we'll play that, and we'll tap Swamp and Temple to then play Veto. Thorn of Dusk Rose. A 1/3, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And then let's see, I could pay 5 to give all creatures lifelink. And damage happens instantaneously, so it would see the lifelink, I think, before. Well, the statement that doesn't make any sense. Damage happens at the same time, but I think the lifelink happens at the same time as damage or slightly before. Regardless, I'm saying that if I swung out with everybody, well, I couldn't swing with him anyway, but if I swung out with these guys and gained a bunch of life, it would deal damage. Yeah, I could, use their abilities a bit, but it's really not that. I don't think it makes sense at this point. 1, 2, 3 to play Sedgemoor Witch, a 3/2 with Menace and Ward. You have to pay 3 life to target her. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, create a little pest token. Unfortunately, that's all I have no more cards in hand. There's no way to draw cards. I'm going to go ahead and tap to gain 1 life. I gained a life, so opponents are going to lose a life. I gained a life, so opponents are going to lose a life. And then whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. I guess I'm going to do you because it would be, just spiteful to target you for no reason. Unfortunately, that's it. I cannot do anything else. Because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 damage. Okay, I would then, I gain 7 life, and he would take 7 damage. Me gaining life would take another 2. He'd lose like 9 damage, maybe, it's like not even a full 10. It's not really going to help matters much. The gaining life would be good, but then he would block probably the right things. Well, he really doesn't have too much that he can block with. He would definitely block Dina with Wauki, so Wauki would survive. He could block this one with the Defender, and then I could block this one with a Storm Kill, let them both die. Because making the tokens or the treasures is nice, but it's not all that important. So the point being is I would lose these 2. I just don't know if that's really it. So I'm going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and a red to play aggressive sabotage kicked. So, playing a sorcery, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then Torwaki is going to deal 4 damage to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I gain 1, 2, 3, 4. Target player discards 2 cards. If this spell was kicked, it deals 3 damage to that player. We're going to target you with it. I should have declared that earlier, of course. But yeah, so you're going to discard 2 cards. You don't have any cards in hand, but you're going to take 3 damage. buffed to 4, no, this is not a creature, so it's just going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I cast a thing, so I make a treasure. It's giving me 3 mana to play with. So sure, I'll tap, and that allows me to just enough the proper mana colors to play Ruinous Path, destroy target creature or planeswalker. I will go ahead and target Dina. So I think this is probably going to be close to game here. We're going to target, or this thing is dealing 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to deal another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, actually, yeah. I make another treasure. Oh, I totally forgot about Gutter Snipe. The game's over, basically. Because Gutter Snipe was going to deal 3, doubled 6. So he was dealing 6 damage already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so like I didn't even have to play this one most likely. Because on playing Aggressive Sabotage, sorry, let's back that up a little bit. If I play Aggressive Sabotage, he deals 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he deals 6, which is that 10 damage. He's definitely dead. And uh, if they're still alive, they're probably still alive by like 1 or 2, then Torwaki deals 4, gains the life, and then that goes through dealing 3, 6 more. Yeah, so yeah, 4 more damage. So there you go. Torwaki for the win again. I mean, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like I'm really happy that he's did so well. I moving forward, I might take him out of rotation because it's kind of not. I'm not gonna say. I don't know. I guess it is one-sided because he's done really well against these decks. Now that's 3 decks out of all the ones I have, but I think maybe I will keep him back for a while just to give other decks a chance to shine and prove whether or not they're working and give me ways to improve. Like Slivers, we'll check out the land base, but there's not much else I can do because the whole concept is just Slivers. There's other, there's really good destruction spells in there in addition to the destruction the Slivers can do, as we've seen. So it's just that if you don't get the right Slivers in the right order, it just kind of sits there. And like even this time, it was good, but they were all just little 1/1s. So even swinging a bunch of them in the air wasn't having too much of an effect on the game. Dina, now that I've realized 100% that it's a one-sided, one card gets blown up and that it's no longer a combo thing, which is fine because she should. But the point is, she should be gaining more life. There should be more cards in there. I thought that you know when they come in, when they do whatever, they gain you a life because there's things like there's multiple cards in her that add to life gain. Like, oh, if you gain life that much +1 or whatever, or double the life you gain. And then there's like Aether Flux Reservoir. So, she's, if nothing else, she should be getting up to like 50, 60 life and then lasering somebody. So it doesn't have to just be the Exquisite Blood combo. Mill just didn't hit any actual mill spells. So otherwise it was doing, okay. It would have been interesting to get the snow-covered island thing going, snow permanents rather, and get that 2020 token out. That would have been fun. But all right, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you saw some cards you want to use, and I will see you next time.